Hey all, Bree from the No Guilt Mom podcast, and I have got a gift for you this holiday season. If you love the No Guilt Mom podcast, and I mean love the No Guilt Mom podcast, then tell us about it. Leave us a review, and you can be entered to win a No Guilt Mom gift card. All you have to do is leave a review, take a screenshot, and then simply go to noguiltmom.com/review to enter our giveaway for a free No Guilt Mom gift card, simply for telling us what you think about the podcast. It is amazing. But don't delay. Get right on this, as we're going to be giving away that No Guilt Mom gift card on December 21st. So get right on over and visit noguiltmom.com/review.
Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I am your host, Joanne Crone, joined here by my spontaneous co-host, Bree Tucker.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
You brought the spontaneity.
Yes. And notice I didn't do my hello? You didn't know that was going to happen, did you?
Oh, I didn't. It was spontaneous.
Ninja.
It was so spontaneous.
Spontaneous ninja.
Well, today we are talking with Tasha Agruso of Kaleidoscope Living. And Tasha holds such a special place in my heart because I'm friends with her and I've known her for, gosh, it's been a while. It's been like 5 years maybe I've known her. And she has such a great story because she used to be a lawyer. And then she started a blog about interior design and do it yourself. And she's just taken off.
Well, I'm not surprised. When I moved into my first house, that was all Bree's post-divorce. I was so excited to get it decorated. And you gave me that designer and a binder. Mm-hmm. And I really 100% ran with the whole, I want my space to be my space and colorful. Mm-hmm. Those colors were huge. And I have to say, I am addicted to her Instagram now.
She has a very addictive Instagram.
Oh my Lord, people. Yeah, we're going to put a link in there in our show notes because it is fun. It's life-changing.
She does the best before and after transformations of DIY projects for the home. Her kitchen counters alone, where she took this brown granite looking stuff.
Mine. That's my counter now.
Yeah. She painted it. She painted the counter and it looks like white granite. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh, yes. It is gorgeous to see the change that she did. And it was just like, oh my Lord. So many things. But I love her color. I love her use of color. And she talks a lot in the episode about the importance of how your space brings you peace and brings you joy, and how she didn't realize it, like you were saying, in the first half of her life and her prior life as a lawyer. She was like, okay, my space is my space, right? It doesn't really matter how I decorate it, which I think a lot of us go through that at some point where we're just like, what's it really matter?
Mm-hmm. But she realized she had control over that space and it just affects how happy she feels. And she was actually a medical malpractice lawyer. Ooh. So she did not have the most joyous job in the world.
Oh gosh.
And knowing Tasha and her personality, I'm like, how did you do that? It must have been soul sucking. And I think she does describe it as soul sucking. But you're going to love Tasha Agruso. She's the founder of Kaleidoscope Living, and she's the creator of Designer in a Binder, which is the best name ever, and House to Home, a journal for homeowners, and host of the Colorful Conversations podcast. She helps you create a home you love no matter your budget, because if you don't love your home, you aren't living your best life.
Very true.
It's very true. And we hope you enjoy our conversation with Tasha. And now, on with the show.
You want mom life to be easier. That's our goal too. Our mission is to raise more self-sufficient and independent kids, and we're going to have fun doing it. We're going to help you delegate and step back. Each episode will tackle strategies for positive discipline, making our kids more responsible and making our lives better in the process. Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast.
Tasha, welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. So just knowing you for years, I am so excited to have you on. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. And it's always it's so nice to just see your face. It's so exciting.
It's so exciting. So tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Sure. My name's Tasha. I live in the great state of North Carolina, and I am the founder of the site Kaleidoscope Living and Designer in a Binder. But I didn't start out as somebody who was in the business of interior design. I practiced law for many, many years but I always had this kind of creative side to me. My husband and I were always renovating and improving our homes. And I realize now through the benefit of things like, therapy, that I just realized really early on how crucial your physical environment is to your overall happiness. So we always prioritized that. Little did I know that passion for creating spaces that I love would become my career, but that's what it is now. So that's what I do over at Kaleidoscope Living is I inspire and educate people about how to create homes that they love no matter their budget.
And you have the most satisfying Instagram that I ever did see.
Really?
You have all these reels of like, you have so much of the before and after that I love watching because I'm like, ooh, before, ooh, after, so much better.
I think that's everybody's like, that is my favorite part of any kind of redesign. It's like, ooh. And I get so upset if I like blink and miss the before on something. I have to keep rewinding it and going back.
It is gratifying. And I love sharing that sort of thing because especially, I do try to come up with creative money saving ways to do things because one of my favorite things is to show people that you don't always have to spend a ton of money to drastically change a space.
Yeah. Like something I learned from you is paint can make such a difference.
Paint everything. Y'all, there is nothing I haven't painted at this point. I'm not kidding. And sometimes, I go into it and there's a lot of research and a lot of people have tackled similar projects and I'm fairly confident it will work. Other times I'm like, I have no idea, but I'm going to go for it.
Yeah. I mean, you have this project about painting your kitchen cabinets and I swear it makes me want to paint all and I counted them. I have 50 kitchen cabinets. And still, your method kind of makes me want to try it because
you could do it. People are like, "There's no way you painted your cabinets in 2 days," and I'm like, "Well, I absolutely did." I saved it on my Instagram, but I don't take the doors off the hinges. I don't pack anything from the cabinets. I am all about working smarter and not harder. Always.
I love that. She is my gal.
Yeah,
this is perfect.
No, all about working smarter. So you mentioned a little bit like how controlling your space really helps with like anxiety. Can you tell us like a little more about that and how it helps?
Yes. I might nerd out a little bit. So
please nerd out.
Okay, good. Okay. So it's something I have always felt like in my being that, where we wake up and look around, like the first thing we see when we look in our bedroom should make us feel happy and inspired and excited to start the day. You don't want to wake up and look at piles of clothes and a wall color you hate and trip over shoes. It sets the tone for the entire rest of your life, right? Mm-hmm. And so I believed this for a long time. I experienced it in my own life. And then I learned that it's supported by science. And I was like, oh, even better. So there is a profession that I didn't know existed for a long time called environmental psychologists. And they recognize that for most people, their home is part of their self-definition. So if you're not happy with your home, it's a problem. Like it's part of who you are. You cannot separate the things. You can't. Mm-hmm. And so there's a really great quote by an environmental psychologist named William Sachs. And he said, people and the places where they reside are engaged in a continuing set of exchanges. They have determinate mutual effects upon each other because they're part of a single interactive system. So for me, it's all about really like setting the tone, controlling your emotions in a positive way. Mm-hmm. And then it's like a big circle. So think about it. You get your home to a point where you like it. You love it. Like our kitchen. I love my kitchen now. When you really love your space, you're then more likely to keep it orderly and tidy. It just feeds into this circle. So your environment can help you control your mood, and then that helps you control your environment. And it just goes around and around and around, and it's all a big circle of positivity.
I've never thought of it that way, but you know what? Yeah. The rooms that I have redesigned with your expert guidance and your designer and a binder, I mean, I swear that thing is amazing.
Thank you.
Like they're the neatest in our house because anytime I see like clutter in it, I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Like, and the office is pretty good. I mean, there's a little papers, but I could get rid of those in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not a big job.
Yeah.
And the change it gives you when you come into that space that you feel like you can breathe, it's so just relaxing and divine. You're like, I'm so comfortable.
Well, and I think, the past year of this pandemic has taught us more than ever that how you feel in your home really matters.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it really impacts your mood. And so I think sometimes people take for granted that if they don't feel great about their spaces, and if they are cluttered and disorganized and they've just never taken the time to address it, those like little nagging irritations and frustrations, they follow you around the whole day. Mm-hmm. The reverse is true too. When you feel awesome about your house, and when you think about the difference between waking up to a clean kitchen versus a kitchen with dirty dishes in the sink. I mean, think about how that impacts your mood. And that then it expands to your whole house. It applies to every space. So
it's a huge impact. I mean, there was a study done by UCLA a few years ago where they had people like spit into a tube and they measured their cortisol levels.
Ooh.
And so they wanted to see if the impact of their environment and like the clutter around them had an impact on like their cortisol and stress levels. And it did.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And I realized it when I was really young. I grew up with a mom who had significant mental health issues. And so her moods were really up and down. And around 5th grade, I started realizing that I could control my world a little bit better when my room was clean and orderly and exactly the way I wanted it, so that when I went to sleep and when I woke up, I felt like I was the one setting the tone for my days, not whatever mood she was going to be in. And so I guess in a way, I'm very lucky that I discovered it early, because it takes most people a lot longer to realize it.
We'll be right back after a quick break. We're hitting that time of year where my brain gets so overloaded in December that I look for anything to make life easier. And I have to say, Brie, that Green Chef is one of those services.
Yes, Green Chef is there to take away the dreaded, oh my goodness, what are we going to eat for dinner tonight? You can eat clean all holiday long with over 80 weekly meal options each week, featuring things like quick and easy, protein-packed, calorie-smart, or my personal favorite, the keto options.
And you don't have to lose track of healthy eating habits during the holidays, because every Green Chef customer gets a free session with one of their registered dietitians who can walk you through how to make clean eating work for you, which is very cool.
And I have to say that I have been loving their recipes lately. They put things together I have never thought of. This week, we're trying the lemon basil caper pork with sauteed cauliflower, bell peppers, almonds, and feta cheese, my favorite. Their recipes make it so easy to support my wellness goals without skipping on flavor.
For Green Chef's best deal of the year, get $250 off with code NGM250 at greenchef.com/NGM250. That's greenchef.com/NGM250. And don't forget to use that code NGM250 to get $250 off.
Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well.
This message is sponsored by Greenlight. It is so hard to raise kids who know how to manage money. Brie, right now, my kids are all about earning money for presents. My daughter wants to get presents for all of her friends, and my son is doing a Secret Santa with his friends.
Oh, I hear you. And if you're looking to raise kids that are financially responsible, we have got a lifesaver recommendation for you that you need to check out. It is Greenlight. Greenlight is a debit card and money app made for families that gives kids and teens an easy and fun way to gain financial literacy, all while giving parents peace of mind.
You can send instant money transfers, automate allowance, and even keep an eye on kids' spending with real-time notifications. Meanwhile, your kids can begin their journey towards financial autonomy by learning how to save, invest, and spend wisely.
So sign up for Greenlight today and get your first month free when you go to greenlight.com/NGM.
That's greenlight.com/NGM to try Greenlight for free. Greenlight.com/NGM. I mean, honestly, before I met you, I thought that decorating was a total waste of my time. I mean, if we're going to be completely honest, that is exactly what I thought. And then just after talking with you and you're like, no, it's going to be it's easy. It's easier than you think.
Yes.
Here's how you do it. And then I finally did it. And oh my gosh, it does. It totally has an effect on
Stay
my
with
mood.
us.
It just
We'll be
makes
right
me
back.
love the space and want to spend
Yep.
more time in there.
Well, and y'all, the same is true for our kids. So I recently shared a picture of my daughter Avery's room on my Instagram, and it's so different from my style that I literally said something like, I bet you didn't know this picture was from my house when I shared it, because my daughters are 10 now, and I know how much our environments impact our moods and our happiness. So it is very important to me to let them embrace their own style in their rooms, because the same thing happens. If your child really loves their room and they take pride in it, they are so much more likely to keep it tidy and to, care about it.
Mhm.
So it's not just true for adults. It really does impact children the same way, if not more, I would say.
I need to figure out a way. Like my daughter decorated her room recently. That was her Christmas
Mhm.
gift, was she got this budget
Yeah.
to redo her room, and still not tidy. Still not tidying. But can I say that might be because she's a teenage girl?
Oh, well, some people are, Atlee is inherently tidier than Avery, but it does help. And I think if I had just forced my style upon Avery in her
Right.
room,
Yeah.
she would care a lot less about keeping it tidy.
And I think that's a really, really good point. I think sometimes as parents, it is really hard to let our kids really have full reign of how they want to decorate their room. Because, like, what are you going to do if your kid is like, oh, I want my room to be pitch black paint with
that
like
would have been hard.
death metal posters, and me, I'm like you, Joanne. I like the soothing colors and like, the natural light, and I like pops of like yellow and red and blue. And yeah, if my kids came to me and said they wanted a black room, actually, you know what? That's what my daughter did start with. She's like, I want a black wall. And I'm like, can we meet in the middle? I mean, I'm not saying no, but I'm saying, please
Oh,
think
Eric-
about this.
Eric wants primary color orange walls, and I'm kind of like, I can't do it. I'm like I'm trying to find like on House, which you also like
Yeah.
onto.
You're
It's just
like, what
pictures
about-
of houses.
What about orange
Yeah.
curtains?
I'm like
And a
accents. We
bed
could do
set.
accents. We
You
could do
could, or like
Right?
you could maybe get away with like a big orange tapestry that you hang on a wall, but then when he's over the orange, you could just take it right down.
That's a really
That's
cool
a good
idea.
idea. That's a good idea.
Like it's just funny how that is. Like, because we want our kids to express themselves, but
Yep.
at the same time, like you just said, like we want to feel at peace in our home. And I just, you know what my secret is though about the whole, like the parts of my kids' rooms that drive me nuts, and Joanne knows this. I just walk by and I shut their door.
The door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I can do. I
It's
shut
the way
the
to
door.
do it. It's the way to do it. So for people who don't have their home where they want to be, like you
Yes.
have 3 tips for us about how they can start. So like, what's the first thing they should do?
Okay, here's the first thing they should do, and most people skip this step. I go through it, like there's actually worksheets in Designer and a Binder that ask you all the questions, but the gist of it is evaluate. Like if you're starting with your family room, you have to evaluate what you don't like about it and what you do like about it, because you're going to want to approach the design for the room in a way that highlights the things you do like and either eliminates or downplays the things that you don't like. But you would be surprised. Like I've had people say in the Designer and a Binder group say, oh my gosh, like I really thought I hated my kitchen cabinets, but then I filled out your worksheets and really like dug deep and asked the questions and looked around and studied it. And I realized I love my kitchen cabinets, but I didn't love the color of the wall against them. But it was so much easier to paint the walls than the cabinets. So you have to write it down. It sounds silly, but you have to work through the process. So evaluate is a huge thing. If you don't evaluate, what people do is they just go to Target and Home Goods and start buying things. And that does not work unless you really address the things that you don't like, that aren't working. You're never going to make it better by adding stuff. That is not how it works. So that's the first step. The second step is to gather inspiration. And most people just really overthink this step. But I tell people, look, go on Pinterest and start pinning, type in family room ideas, whatever. Just start pinning what you like. Don't edit yourself at all. I mean, like you should look at an image for a second. If you like it, pin it. If you don't, move on. That's it. And at the end of it, when you have maybe your 10 favorite images that you've stumbled upon, study what they have in common. Don't try to, like I always tell people, don't try to define your style. I don't know what mine is. Like I have no label for it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're looking back and you see 5 images have a green velvet couch, guess what?
You need one.
Your soul desires a green velvet couch. Like it is not complicated if you go with your gut and you just are letting yourself respond to what you like. So gather inspiration, study what the images have in common. Very simple. Don't make it complicated. And then, y'all, the third step is declutter. I say it all the time and it sounds like harsh, but a cluttered space is just, it's never going to be beautiful ever. And like Joanne, like you were saying, it's going to increase your stress levels. Like there's science to support it. So if it's not serving you in some way, if it doesn't have a current use, a current purpose, or it doesn't bring you joy, get it out of your house. Get it out. As Joe would say, you can't polish a turd. So, I mean, you can't. So you have to get kind of all the stuff you don't want out before you're ever going to make it feel like a space that you love. Those are my 3 big picture tips.
Those are gold.
They're gold. And you know what? I love it too. And like your whole design style with using lots of color and like it's been such an inspiration to me.
Oh,
It has like I put so much more color in our house because of you, Tasha. But like your one big tip that was like the game changer for me, because I would go into a room and I would be like, oh my gosh, I don't know what colors go together or where to start. And you're like, find just one item,
one thing
that you love, and then base all the colors around that item.
Yeah. In Designer in a Binder, I refer to it as the crucial element. And people are like, okay, so does it need to be a rug? I'm like, it can be anything. It could be a painting. It could be a rug. It could be wallpaper. It doesn't have to be a specific thing. It just has to be the thing that kind of makes your heart go pitter patter and speed up and get you excited. And then what I love is, you know, if you've chosen a fabric or a wallpaper or anything that has multiple colors in it, the hard work is done for you. Like an artist, you know, and like a fabric designer, some artist, someone with real fantastic knowledge of color theory and all the things has decided that those colors work together. Just trust them. And so that's even what I do. I'm like, this isn't, now it's easy. So, you know, if we have a big wall mural in Atlee's room, that's the crucial element that I'm going to look to the colors in that mural to pick out and bring in other spots in the room. Like, it's not hard.
We'll be right back after a quick break. My son is playing a game right now on his computer where he's a thief and the cops are after him. So I'm so excited about this new app, Give As We Grow, where instead of being the quote unquote bad guys, kids are practicing giving back.
That is so cool, Joanne. I really wish that there was something like this when my kids were younger that got them excited about giving back to others and helped them build a better understanding of what it really means to volunteer.
Give As We Grow is the first of its kind free educational mobile app for children ages 8 to 11 that teaches kids via fun, service-focused minigame quests to tap into their unique talents and interests to help others.
And did you know that studies show that there is a biological connection between generosity and happiness, and that volunteering improves people's physical and mental health? I mean, kids who volunteer typically do better in school and are less likely to engage in risky behaviors. And that is something that I think we all want for our kids.
Ready to spark a new movement in generosity? Find and download Give As We Grow for free in the App Store for Android and iOS. And for resources for the whole family, visit giveaswegrow.org.
Hey, Aubrey here, and I wanted to share one of my favorite gifts to give during the holiday season, a Storyworth book. It is the most amazing gift ever. Storyworth is an online service that lets you create a special and unique gift of someone's story. I've given Storyworth books to both of my parents, and it has been their favorite gift, hands down. And did I mention it is so easy? Storyworth emailed my parents questions every week that I handpicked from their massive list of questions that they have. All my parents had to do was open their email and answer them. That easy. I asked my dad questions like, did you have any rules that you set for yourself as a parent, which you immediately broke?
And he did. I even asked both of my parents, are you more like your mom or your dad? And they shared a lot of really amazing qualities that I didn't know about my grandparents at the time. Then at the end of the year, Storyworth compiles all of their answers, puts them into this gorgeous book that covers everything. My parents love showing us their books, and I personally love getting a chance to read them. With Storyworth, I am giving those I love a thoughtful and personal gift from the heart that preserves their memories and stories for years to come. Go to storyworth.com/NGM and save $10 on your first purchase. That's storyworth.com/NGM to save $10 on your first purchase.
Yeah. The crucial element in my family room was this painting that I went to Burst of Butterflies, which is a local shop. But I
love that painting.
I painted it. It was one of those instructional paintings. So it told you the colors to use and everything, but it says home and it has teal and pink and everything. And that's what I based the whole room around.
And it made everything easier, right?
It made everything easier.
We'll be right back.
And then in this room, I bought a really colorful rug.
Yes.
And I'm
so pretty.
Still adding to this room. It's not done. And that's what I love too. You don't have to do it all at once.
Nope. You just have to pick your crucial element, and then it can evolve as slowly as you want it to.
Yeah, because that was a stressor for me too. I can't do things all at once. I feel too much time pressure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I think it's important to find, like you're just saying, those pieces that really speak to you. That's something I bought my first house 2018.
Okay.
I had been married for many years and didn't have any. Oddly enough, I was not the one that got to say what went in our house when I was married. I was given a bone. The last year we were married, he let me redesign the bathroom. And
oh wow.
And there were so many fights over that, but I'm going to tell you, the realtor told me that was the best room in the house. Thank you very much. Of course it was.
You nailed it.
Yes, I did. So when I got to redecorate my house, or not redecorate, when I got to move into my first house, Joanne gave me your designer and a binder. And I have to say, my house brings me so much joy. It is.
It makes me so happy.
Honestly, having to spend all this time in quarantine at home was not a problem. I loved my house.
That's how I felt. I mean, there were times I felt badly for my kids, but I was happy. I was fine.
Right?
I was fine. Yeah.
Quarantine. Thank goodness we're kind of seeing the end of all that.
Oh,
I know. We're getting there. I'm fully vaccinated now.
Me too.
Oh, I'll join you guys this weekend. I'm close.
Did you have any after effects after the second one?
Nope, I really didn't. I mean, I would say maybe I was a little more tired, but that could be because I was looking for something, but I was fine. How about you?
Yeah, it hit me big time at night. It hit me like 3 hours later. I'm feeling a little fuzzy.
No.
And I was I'm not right. It was just that kind of state where you're just sitting there and you start your stare and you don't end the stare and you're what was I just doing for the past?
And once you realize what you were doing, you're oh no.
Oh no. So I took it easy all weekend, but I'm fine now. It was 3 days ago that we got it.
Well, good. I'm so glad. It's totally worth it.
It's totally worth it. It's all done. So what is coming up for you that you are really excited about?
Less than a year ago, we moved at the end of October of 2020. So we're kind of chugging away at making this house our own. And that's what's getting me excited, because it really fills me with tremendous joy to kind of see a vision come to life and to make spaces look better and function better for my family. So that's it. That's what this year for us is all about. And I'm loving it.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Tasha. As always, it has been amazing.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It has been amazing. Fun. So thanks for having me.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
So I always love Tasha. I get the biggest smile on my face anytime I see her and talk with her.
She feels I know that you two are friends, but I felt like she was my girlfriend by the end of the conversation. I was you know what? We need to hang out. And again, going back to her Instagram, I want to go hang out on her porch.
Yeah.
It is just right. Can I just Airbnb her porch? She has a fireplace and the most cozy, comfy looking couches and dining room table out there. And the beautiful rug. And did I mention the fireplace?
It's pretty amazing. Before I met Tasha, I was decorating with all browns and grays and everything. And
that's an Arizona thing though, I think, because we try to cover the dust storms.
Maybe. Yeah. But like because of her, I bought this really colorful rug for my family room. And that was the first really colorful, like bright, it was pink. And I was afraid of getting pink before because I'm like, oh, like my husband won't be on board. But he was basically like, yeah, do whatever you want. I'm like, okay. So I got pink and it just brightened up the whole space. And that's one of my favorite rooms in the house, except for this office, which also has a colorful rug.
Right. But this was a result of how happy that living room has made you.
Yes.
You knew exactly the path you wanted to take for this room.
Yep. And it isn't completely done yet. Like we're in the office right now and I'm looking around and we still need to do your wall by your desk, Brie.
Right.
Yes.
We do. But I will say this, like what I love too, and I feel like you did. And again, like I've come back to my first space of my own. Granted, I was 40 when I got it, but I got my own space. You don't compromise.
Yeah.
Like you have a vision
I do.
and you just wait until you can get that vision. And that's again, like I feel like from talking to Tasha and from, again, the whole Instagram addiction I have now to her page, she just makes it so obtainable.
She does. Like, I didn't know how to design rooms before I met Tasha, and it was her designer in a binder. Like, it was so simple.
Just one step, and then the rest just kind of falls in place. It's like a tumbler lock.
Yeah, well, like, her process is just so intuitive and so easy that it made it easy to design from there. And
so I know we
great.
keep talking about designer in a binder.
Yes.
And Tasha was amazing. We actually have a really cool thing for you guys.
We have a code for you guys to get 25% off designer in a binder. We will put the link to the designer in a binder page in the show notes, but use the code NoGuiltMom, all one word, and you can get your own designer in a binder for 25% off.
Woohoo!
And you guys, you gotta post pictures of what you do with designer in a binder. Like it's gonna be amazing, and it's not expensive to change your room either. Like you don't need a very expensive like furniture, anything like that. In fact, most of it just comes down to changing paint colors.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like for the most part, it's about investing in the paint color you want, and you don't even have to go with the expensive paint, people. I mean, it's depending upon, I will say there are certain points where the more expensive paint is worth it, but you got to kind of weigh that in your own family.
I mean, I do Sherwin-Williams paint.
Well, I mean, but there's also like all these different types of paint, like, you know, the ones that need a primer, don't need a primer. And that also depends upon like what color you're going with. And then do you need washable paint? Because maybe you have younger kids in the home that might write on the walls. Like there's a lot of things to take into consideration with paint, but I sound
don't
really
get
crazy
overwhelmed by that. Yeah, that's a little.
Don't listen to Brie. Brie's talking too much.
It could be easy.
Took it all back.
It could be easy.
Yes.
It could totally be easy.
So, hey, if you enjoy listening to us, how about you mosey on over to preferably Apple Podcasts, but to whatever podcast format you're listening to. If they allow reviews, we would love to get your review so that we can kind of have more people discover us, because oddly enough, the more reviews that we have, the more that we reach out to people. Now, I'm hoping that you enjoy us, so we're getting a good review.
Yes,
but even if it was a bad review, it still counts.
I hope you enjoyed it. We earned your 5 stars. And if you could just take a few minutes, give us a review, we would be so appreciative. And until next time, remember, the best mom's a happy mom. Take care of you, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks for stopping by. Are you looking for something to listen to with your whole family? Then check out 6 Minutes, produced and created by Gen Z Media. With over 200 twisty, cliffhanger-filled episodes, 6 Minutes tells the story of 11-year-old Holiday, who was pulled from the icy waters with no memory of who she is or where she came from.
3 years ago, Brinley Pasternak helped the Anders family uncover the truth about Holiday's past. Now she'll need them to help her find the truth about hers. In 6 Minutes Out of Time, the long-awaited sequel, Cyrus Anders is found unconscious near the mysterious Elixir Academy in Florida, and Brinley learns the school may have a shocking connection to her missing mother.
Dive in now and get the most downloaded family audio adventure in history. Follow 6 Minutes wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen early and ad-free with the GZM family subscription.